All right, everybody. It is what it is. (1977's) Chatterbox. Let's go to the trailer.
You are about to see scenes from a serious movie that depicts one of the most amazing medical discoveries in the history of the world. Whatever you do, don't laugh.
Well, what would you do if your could all of a sudden start to talk and sing?
I will never understand women.
I'm their mother.
Okay, not every performer could say that she's recommended by the AMA.
It's just embarrassing.
She doesn't want to be just another anonymous organ.
I have a that can talk.
She has a beautiful voice.
Very nice.
I feel I'm making a statement with this film, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Dick, I'm so glad I ended up with you.
Me too.
Me three. Are you ladies ready? Do you serve a box lunch?
This is a social document.
Chatterbox, the story of a young woman who has a very unusual way of expressing herself.
I wonder why they call it Chatterbox.
This is the climax!
Okay, this movie was directed by, if you want to call it that, Tom DeSimone. Tom DeSimone was basically a low-budget, grindhouse, booby flick type director. He did movies like Dust Unto Dust, Lust in the Afternoon, Swap Meet, Sons of Satan, Games Without Rules, Black Heat, Good Hot Stuff, Hot Truckin', Get Down, Wet Shorts. What the fuck? But you basically get the idea. That's what this guy did. This movie starred Candice Rialson, who was Penelope, the girl with the rather gifted, whatever. But anyway, she was on TV shows. She popped up a lot back in the day. She basically was pigeonholed to being a B-movie actress and the type of girl who got bit parts on television. You know, she kind of never broke out of that mold, and it was what it was. You know, she was on shows like Maude. She popped up on things like the Shafts TV show, Fantasy Island. She cropped up on Fantasy Island one time. She was in a movie called Stunts. But basically, Chatterbox was her claim to fame. She passed away rather young at the age of 54 from liver cancer, so that's kind of sad, but I guess the rest of us shall always be Chatterbox, or at least the girl who carried Chatterbox around. There you go. Okay, playing Dr. Pearl, the doctor that Penelope goes to for some help, was Larry Gelman. Larry Gelman was on a slew of television shows back in the days. I mean, a slew. He was on Chips, My Three Sons, Doris Day Show, Mary Tyler Moore Show, Carol Burnett Show, Remington Steele, Cagney and Lacey, Simon and Simon, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, Barney Miller, Mr. Scarecrow, Scarecrow, Mrs. King. Was that the name of the show? Yeah, that was it. Mr. Belvedere. He was popping up all the time. Worked a lot. Still alive to this day at age of 88. I don't think he's working that much anymore, but still going. So kudos there, Dr. Pearl. You're still kicking around. Okay, next up is Jane Kean. She played Eleanor Pittman, which was Penelope's rather ambitious stage mom. And she had a long, long career. She did a lot of TV shows. She did a lot of daytime type stuff, you know, soap operas, whatever you want to call it. She was on things like, she was on General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, The Lucy Show, The Jackie Gleason Show, Love American Style. She popped up in the kids movie Pete's Dragon. She's the Sheriff, Scarecrow and Mrs. King. A lot of TV work. Made it to the ripe old age of, I think, 90 before she passed away. So she had a good career. She had a long run. God bless her. There you go. Okay, playing a character of Marlene was actually somebody named Arlene Martel. Arlene Martel was on a ton of TV shows. Most famously for any of us who are like geeks, she was on Star Trek way back in the day. Way back. You'll remember the face once you see it. She was on Ben Casey, The Untouchables, Cheyenne, Breaking Point, I Dream of Jeannie, The Fugitive, Iron Horse, The Monkees, Here Come the Brides, Hogan's Heroes, Bewitched. She was on a ton of stuff. Had a very long career. Just passed away not too long ago, recently. I think she was, oh my God, I can't remember how old she was. Maybe I can flash it on the screen. But anyway, she had a long career on TV and television, stuff like that. And just recently left us not too long ago, but she'll always be the girl from Star Trek to the rest of us, so there you go. Okay, playing Mr. Joe, the hair salon owner, was Rip Taylor. Rip Taylor, man, if you were young back in the 70s and 80s, you've seen Rip Taylor all the time. He had a long career. He was on some TV shows and all that kind of stuff, but you basically remember him as the crazy, zany comedian kind of guy who was always on, like, the Gong Show or Hollywood Squares. He would come out, he had this fake blonde hair wig, and he would shoot confetti, and he was always, he was really high energy and kind of nuts, but he had a long career. He's still going. He's 83 years old. I think he's still performing out there, believe it or not. But he would just come out and just act like a lunatic, and you'd always say to yourself, I don't know if he's funny or disturbing or weird, but he would always wind up on these TV shows, and you would always wind up watching him. So, hey, Rip Taylor's still out there doing his thing. God bless him. Whatever. Okay, next was Professor Irwin Corey. Irwin Corey was kind of like a comedian, madman, strange man. I think he even ran for president at one point. He was floating around the scene as a comedian, doing odd stuff for decades and decades in Hollywood. He died at the ripe old age of 102. You know, and he was married to the same woman for 70 years. So if that little bit of television history and being this comedian, whatever the hell he was, doesn't amount to much in the memories of most people, anybody who makes it to 102 years old and is married for 70 years is a winner. So, Irwin Corey, God bless, man. Rest in peace wherever you are. Okay, here's the story for what it's worth, everybody. There's a girl named Penelope, and one night while having intimate relationships with her boyfriend, here's another voice in the room, and that voice happens to be coming from her nether regions, who we wind up knowing as Virginia. And apparently Virginia likes to talk. She likes to talk a lot. And she likes to critique. And she's a bit of a pervert. And she has like a multiple octave range and can sing like the Dickens. This is quite frightening to Penelope and her boyfriend, who he runs out of the room after being criticized for his lack of great performance. And she goes to work the next day, and she's talking to her friends and asking them about the situation, and then winds up going to a doctor, and the doctor sits there and seeing stars and money and being the fact that he really wants to be one of those people that just directs a career in showbiz, he kind of ropes her into showbiz. And Penelope goes on their version of the dating game, which is called the mating game, and their version of the Tonight Show, and she becomes an overnight sensation because she has a singing vagina. And nobody seems to question this through the whole movie. I mean, it's kind of shocking at first, but before you know it, she's at the Rose Bowl, and she's in parades, and she's singing the national anthem, and she's on all the TV shows, and she's on Broadway, and, you know, in Virginia, the singing vagina is a major star. But it gets a little bit hard for Penelope because she can't really have a normal life. It isn't really anything that she's not afforded to have a normal relationship. And when people come up to speak to her and talk to her, they don't talk to her. They only come up to talk to Virginia, because really Virginia is the star of the show and not her. And it leads to her being a little bit depressed and argumentative with her vagina. I really don't know how to go any farther than that. I don't want to give you the end of the movie just in case you watch this. And what more can I say, really? This movie is what it is. Yeah. Okay, what makes this movie work? I'm not really sure this movie does work, but it does have a very strange amount of charm to it. It's so goofy and so low budget and so damn stupid. It's just goofy. You got to watch the thing once you start rolling with it. You do kind of feel like after about the first 35 minutes, the movie should probably end, but it goes on for like an hour and 20, and you're just like, okay. It's not as dirty as you might think. By the sound of the title and the subject matter of the motion picture, you might think that this is just a filth show, but really it's not. I mean, there's far worse crap on Cinemax and HBO, you know, at night or something like that. This is not that graphic of a motion picture by any stretch. You see Candice Rialson run around topless numerous times, but that's the extent of it. It doesn't really show Virginia or anything weird like that. It's not that hard of a movie. It's just a really campy, really stupid, really crazy movie that somebody pitched, somebody made, and somehow put the thing on celluloid and made it into a motion picture. It's fun, it's goofy, it's cute. There's a continuous boom mic at least 7 or 8 times during the motion picture. You'll just see the boom mic come down as they're talking and recording it. I don't know. I mean, apparently they just didn't care enough to even try to reshoot the scenes. They just kept going and going and going. And there's actually, like I gave you the cast earlier, some names in this thing, not stars, but you know, names that have been floating around the scene. So once you start watching it, you'll be like, this is so goofy, I gotta continue with this thing and just see where the hell it goes. One side note that's kind of interesting, when Penelope winds up in jail at one point for a parking situation with a police officer, whatever. I hope I'm not giving away too much of the plot. And you'll notice the prison she comes out of is the prison from Assault on Precinct 13. The one where the big shootout happens, and you'll see when she's in the cells, it looks down the hallway, and you're like, my God, that's the same shot from Assault on Precinct 13. Then when she comes out, you're like, my God, that's the same prison from Assault on Precinct 13. So if for anything, it's worth watching it just so you can see the building from Assault on Precinct 13, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Anyway, folks, we'll be back with more stuff at another time. Catch you later.